Hey there, Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. And what we are looking at this time is a really unique and interesting knife. This is the Konosuke Sanjo YS Gyuto 240 millimeter knife. And having seen as many knives as I've had in my hands and looking and opening boxes, it takes quite a bit to, really wow me and get my attention out of the box. I've seen a lot of different knives, and these. Mark sent me the 240 and the 210, and these things instantly out of the box. I was like, whoa, these are really cool. So again, I was struck by how nicely designed and made these are, and the look to them. They're just really cool line of knives. So what they do on these is they combine a stainless cladding, a soft stainless cladding on either side of a semi-stainless hard core steel. So it's a 3-layer construction. They're using one of their proprietary semi-stainless steels, whatever that might be, but they do a fabulous job with the HD and the HD2. It's probably going to be similar to that. It's easy to sharpen. It holds a decent edge. These being taken to about 63 to 64 Rockwell, they've definitely got these on a high end of the hardness scale, which is going to contribute to better edge retention, but they're easy to sharpen. They take a fantastic edge. The patina will be kind of low and slow, so they'll gradually gain a patina, but they're not super reactive. So it's just a nice kind of blend of fine-grained steel with a lot of good qualities to it. So, and again, they surround that on either side with a harder core steel, or I'm sorry, a softer stainless steel that's got a really interesting hammered pattern. It looks like it does cross over the top of the spine as well. These are going to vary a little bit from knife to knife with dimensions and weights, but this particular one is 168 grams or 5.9 ounces. The edge length is about 247, so it's a pretty long knife, about 9.7 inches. And 406 millimeters on the overall length. They're right about 16 inches. These are fairly thick coming out of the handle, but then they thin out nicely all the way to the tip and almost have a continuous taper. They're just beautifully crafted. So this is about 3.7 millimeters thick here, and sometimes people go, I don't want anything over 2.5 or 3 up there. Well, every knife is different. So this particular one, 3.5 there above the back, but it just starts thinning out. And halfway down, I measured 1.8, so big change. And it just kind of keeps going. And you'll see the grind on these is quite generous. You can see it goes all the way up to here where the hammered texture comes in, and so they use that to thin it out. So these things are just extremely well crafted, and that tip gets skinny. They've also ground these thin at the edge. This is not a beginner's knife because you've got hard steel and thin edges, so it'll take some technique, but you'll get rewarded with performance, and it's a great core steel. So just a neat look. So let's see here. The blade height is 49 millimeters, so plenty. The neck's rather narrow, so plenty of clearance, loads of clearance for your fingers on a cutting board. The handles are beautifully made. They're the key octagonal ambidextrous handles. This particular one is made out of a wood called Enju with a Maguro ferrule. You can read more about those woods on the product page, which you're probably at anyway if you're looking at this video. They've got this rounded butt end on them. You can see they're fairly thin handles width-wise from side to side, but they've got kind of a standard height to them. And so they're about 70 millimeters or 2.75 inches in circumference where the two woods meet. Really tight install on the tang. So it's a rather narrow handle, but a lot of people have really grown to like these on these knives that Konosuke is putting on some of their stuff. And it does help with the balance point because it's a dense wood, so it brings the balance point back up here, which is actually fairly close for me. I hardly moved my finger there. It's pretty close to my pinch grip. So for most of you, that should be similar area, and we'll make this a nice neutral balanced knife. It's fairly light. It's thin at the edge. This is just a really cool knife. Let's look at the beauty shot here, and then we'll get a close-up. So what they've got is a small hammered pattern with nice small little hammers and a random pattern. There is some chiseled kanji on it, but it's hard to kind of catch that, but it's there. The finish is unique. It's kind of like a Kudauchi finish, but I don't know, it's kind of like a gunmetal grayish tannish on it. Looks like it will be quite durable. I can't say for sure. Don't know. They've done a really nice polish job on the spine. Of course, some of these hammers go right up into there, but great polish job on the spine. Nice rounding and polishing on the choil, the back of the blade. Nice 6, maybe 7 out of 10 edge on this thing. Super clean grind, super straight. As we talked about, thin at the edge, thin at the tip. This is an extremely well-crafted knife. I know they're not inexpensive, but they're very, very well made. Let's look at the cutting board profile on this bad boy. And this is kind of just a stretched out version of the 210. Super clean profile, super smooth, no bumps or high spots, low spots. It flows into the heel and the back half. And you've got a little bit of a flat area in the back, and then the gentle, kind of a low curve coming up into a little more aggressive couple inches towards the tip, so you can get fairly high on it with that shape. And yet you've got a lot of room here for different techniques. So this will handle a lot of techniques, almost everything. Chopping at the back, rocking, push-pull cuts, glide cuts. So just a really well-crafted, executed package. It's part of what you pay for. So here we have the Konosuke Sanjo YS Gyuto 240mm knife.